Hey, it's Buzzy Lewis from Failure Friendly. The Failure Friendly mindset is an evidence-based approach to transcending creative anxiety, which is the discomfort or vulnerability that comes with doing or creating anything new. Before you can understand the Failure Friendly mindset and how it's different from most strategies for dealing with anxiety, we first must understand the creative process. The creative process, like the process of change, is a curve. As you move from start to finish, you will experience extreme highs and lows of emotion. In the beginning or ideas stage, we feel positive and hopeful, the rush of the shiny new idea. This stage does not involve action or vulnerability, so it's considered safe, in your comfort zone. This stage can be so intoxicating for the dreamers. Now, once you commit to an idea, the next step is to figure out how to make it a reality. As we step into the process, we step into uncertainty. And this, my friends, is where the discomfort begins. Even if all you're doing is just looking at a blank page, your brain will interpret this uncertainty as danger and cue the adrenaline. For high achievers and perfectionists, this loss of control can be excruciating. The discomfort only intensifies as we move further into the process, and the inevitable happens. We begin to make mistakes and hit obstacles that we just couldn't predict. In innovation theory, this is called the thrashing stage, where they encourage us to fail fast. This stage often triggers our inner critic, a negative internal chatter about ourselves and our abilities. Oh, I suck, I'm such an idiot, I'm never going to figure this out, I'm just not good enough. That kind of talk. Does it sound familiar? This stage is unfortunately where many people try to take back control of the uncomfortable situation by removing themselves and giving up, which I think is really sad. Those who continue on will find that it's darkest before the dawn as we hit a point of despair. In psychology, this is called acceptance. I like to think of it as surrendering to the process. In mythology and spirituality, this is known as the hero's journey, where they must delve into the underworld and wrestle with their shadow self, their demons, their fears, their self-doubt, to finally emerge stronger than before, often realizing that that strength was hiding inside them the whole time. When we give in to the process, rather than give up, we let go of preconceived ideas of how it should happen or should look. And we just let the happy accidents and key learnings reveal themselves, which is really the magic of creativity. Musician Nick Cave has referred to this as communion with the divine. From here, things seem to get less messy as we embrace the process and begin to experiment. This is a playful stage where mistakes become important discoveries rather than epic fails, and a flicker of hope is sparked inside us. Finally, things begin to come together as we refine and tweak the product of our creativity. This step triggers our inner cheerleaders or ego with positive internal chatter about ourselves and our abilities. I got this, I'm so good, I am the best. That kind of talk. Perfectionists, again, can get stuck here as their fear of finishing is greater than their fear of starting. This is because nothing they ever do will be up to their own unrealistic standards because they're forever moving the goalposts further and further away. Finally, the moment of completion. Great satisfaction is gained when we have a finished product. but also the self-esteem of knowing we made it through the jungle, we made it through the uncertainty, and if we can do what once seemed impossible, what else are we capable of? This is a great feeling that will just energize you and push you through to your next bigger and better challenge. So the more we practice and have awareness of the process, the easier it becomes, I promise. Now, a lot of innovation and change strategies focus on jumping straight to that play stage by using positive psychology techniques or distraction tactics. While in theory it seems great to skip over the messy, painful, uncomfortable steps, but this approach is what we call a spiritual bypass. Without addressing the emotional discomfort that uncertainty produces, this is an unsustainable practice. We all know what happens when we begin to bottle our emotions. Yes, we're a ticking time bomb for some kind of explosion or epic burnout. Not to mention that whatever we're creating is robbed when we only put our mind into it, rather than the heart and soul it needs to move people. I mean, haven't you listened to a song and just had a really cathartic experience because you can feel the artist has really put their raw emotion and heart into it? Rather than, say, another song that's fun and pleasant, but you can tell that that artist was just playing it safe. The failure-friendly mindset is a new perspective and a sustainable approach to creativity and innovation. There are 3 pillars to the failure-friendly mindset. The first is wake up. This is about moving away from being self-conscious to become self-aware. Not only to the reality of the ups and downs of the creative process, which we've just seen, and the fact that creative people are wired to be extra sensitive and feel those highs and lows intensely. It's their sensitivity that makes them creative, by the way. But most importantly, this stage is about doing the internal work to identify our own unique triggers, subconscious limiting beliefs, and maladaptive self-talk. Wake Up is based on a mix of psychology and mindfulness. The second pillar is Shake Up. This is about turning self-doubt into unshakable self-belief. Like the playful step in the creative process, this stage empowers you to choose helpful self-talk and beliefs, like seeing mistakes as discoveries rather than failures. This element is rooted in positive psychology and busts many of the myths about creativity and the meaning of fear, but it is not a one-size-fits-all approach. No. By tailoring your shake-up practices to align with the set of limiting beliefs uncovered in Wake Up, you will identify unique and potent practices that remedy your psychological needs or your unique set of fears and doubts, because it is a little bit different for everyone. The third pillar of the failure-friendly mindset is Make-up. Make-up is all about fostering unconditional self-compassion by softening towards ourselves and making up with our wounded self. This step is informed by studies of emotional intelligence, or EQ, which has been proven to be a better indicator of success than our IQ. By learning how to navigate our emotions and how they affect our thoughts, self-compassion is what makes the failure-friendly mindset a sustainable practice. Rather than having to ignore or push through the barriers of our emotions, burning up all of our energy, the act of honoring our emotions and holding space for them without judgment brings us into our authenticity and energizes us. So there you have it, a brief overview of the failure-friendly mindset. Wake up to the way fear is holding you back. Shake up your limiting self-beliefs and make up with unconditional self-compassion. If you would like to learn more about the failure-friendly mindset, the dark side of creativity, and discover the practical ways you can live a freer, more creative life while avoiding burnout, you should check out my book, or my blog articles, or my free failure-friendly digital toolkit, or my 21 Days to Creative Freedom Challenge. You can find all of these at my website, www.failurefriendly.com. Now, before I go, let me just add, if you feel like there's something wrong with you because you're so anxious, please remember, big fear is the price of big imagination. It's a part of your gift. And when you own it, it will stop owning you.